Picture this. You've practiced for weeks. You show up for your Texas road test feeling totally confident, and you get turned away at the door just because you brought a digital document on your phone instead of a printed piece of paper. Yeah. And now you're staring down a brutal 6-month wait to try again. Look, if you're trying to get your Texas driver's license, you absolutely need to pay attention because the state has shifted to a mandatory online first booking system. On one hand, booking online is super convenient, but on the other, the system has some incredibly strict rules, and one tiny mistake can literally cost you months of your time. Welcome to this explainer. I'm super excited to guide you through this whole process.
So, want to avoid waiting half a year just to take a 20-minute driving test? Because honestly, that's the reality for a lot of folks in major Texas cities right now. But hey, don't sweat it. Think of this explainer as your ultimate survival guide for hacking the Texas DPS bureaucracy. We're going to break down the exact systems, the sneaky requirements, and the specific strategies you need to get your license as fast as possible. Let's get right into it. Okay, here is our game plan for today. 1. Before you book online. 2. The step-by-step online booking process. 3. Choosing dates and locations. 4. Finalizing your appointment details. And 5. Preparing for test day. Let's move.
Starting off with Section 1, before you book online. Now, you might be tempted to just jump straight onto the DPS website and click Schedule, right? Well, hold on a second. There are some strict statutory requirements you have to meet before you even think about opening that portal. Texas actually splits drivers up into 3 distinct age groups, and each one has its own specific educational track. If you're a teen, so 16 to 17, you fall under the Graduated Driver License Program. This means you need to hold a learner's license for at least 6 months, knock out 32 hours of classroom ed, 14 hours of in-car instruction, and a 30 hours supervised driving log. Plus, you need your D964 certificate to prove you did it all. Now, if you're a young adult, aged 18 to 24, you get to skip that 6-month wait, but you still have to complete a 6-hour adult driver education course and snag an ADE 1317 certificate. And finally, for adults 25 and up, formal driver's ed is actually optional, though, it's highly recommended, and you can jump right to the written and vision exams. So figure out which cohort you're in first so you don't waste time doing the wrong coursework. Which brings us to a major pitfall I like to call the ITD trap. Listen closely here. No matter how old you are, every first-time applicant has to take a free distracted driving video course called Impact Texas Drivers, or ITD. Teens take a 2-hour version, adults take a 1-hour version. Simple enough, right? But here is the massive catch. You absolutely must complete this ITD course after your classroom driver's ed is 100% finished. If the date on your ITD certificate is before your driver's ed certificate, the DPS will instantly invalidate it. You'll have to sit there and rewatch all those videos. Oh, and one more thing. That ITD certificate expires in exactly 90 days. If you don't actually take your road test within that 90-day window, you're starting all over. Moving right along to Section 2, step-by-step online booking. All right, so you've got your prerequisites dialed in. Let's talk about actually navigating the Texas DPS online portal, which you'll find at public.txdpsscheduler.com. The really smart thing about this portal is that it dynamically adjusts based on whether you're a new resident or if you're already in the Texas system. Here's how it flows. First, you access the site. Second, you authenticate who you are using your name, date of birth, social security number, and your permit number if you've got one. Third, you pick your transaction type. Make sure you explicitly select Schedule a Driving Test. Fourth, punch in your zip code to filter by location. Fifth, a calendar pops up for you to select a date and time. They actually let you book up to 180 days out. And finally, you confirm the details. It's a very structured path, but as long as you've got your personal info sitting right there in front of you, it's an absolute breeze. Next up, Section 3, choosing dates and locations. So how do you actually beat those crazy administrative backlogs, especially if you live in Dallas, Austin, or Houston? Well, here are some actionable hacks that actually work. First up, the holy grail of DPSX, this 7 a.m. refresh. The DPS releases a limited batch of same-day standby slots online right at the start of the business day. If you are sitting there refreshing the portal right at 7 a.m. Central Time, you can very often snipe a slot from someone who canceled overnight. Second strategy, expand your map. Simply driving 45 minutes or an hour out to a suburban or rural county office can literally save you months of waiting. And lastly, if you're feeling a bit lucky, you can just walk into a physical office and use their self-service kiosk to hunt for a same-day standby slot. Now, you basically have 2 distinct choices for who actually gives you the test. The traditional DPS track is completely free. Well, it's included in your $33 application fee, but like we said, it's usually booked out for weeks or even months, and you're restricted to normal weekday business hours. But wait, there is an alternative. The Texas legislature created the Third-Party Skills Testing, or TPST program. Yes, this route will cost you roughly $75 to $125 at a certified commercial driving school, but the flexibility is just incredible. You get super fast booking, and they usually offer evening and weekend slots. And the best part? TPST integrates directly with the Texas by Texas digital platform. That means after you pass, the school submits your scores electronically, and you can literally upgrade and print a temporary license right from your couch without ever standing in another DPS line. Game changer, right? All right, Section 4, finalizing your appointment details. Okay, once you finally snag that perfect date and time, you need to lock it down and protect it from automatic cancellation. First rule, do not just close your browser tab. Immediately save that generated confirmation code. I also highly suggest opting in for the automated SMS and email reminders. And listen, here is a critical warning. The Texas DPS does not play around with tardiness. They enforce a strict 30-minute late cancellation rule. If you get stuck in traffic and show up more than 30 minutes past your start time, their system automatically nukes your appointment and releases it back to the public. Do yourself a favor and arrive at least 15 to 20 minutes early.
And finally, Section 5, preparing for test day.
So you've booked your slot, you've got there early, but you're not in the clear just yet. You still have two massive hurdles before they even let you put the car in drive: the document check and the vehicle inspection. I literally cannot stress this enough. Digital copies on your smartphone will be instantly rejected. The examiner will not look at a PDF on your screen. Everything has to be printed on physical paper. Bring a folder. You're going to need your real ID documents proving citizenship and residency, your physical social security card, your unexpired physical learner's permit, your printed driver's ed certificate, and that printed hand-signed Impact Texas driver's certificate we talked about earlier. Print every single thing the night before. Just don't risk it. The very last thing is your vehicle. Now, there is a super interesting update here. Texas House Bill 3297 recently did away with mandatory annual safety inspections for non-commercial vehicle registrations. But do not let that fool you. The DPS road test examiner is still going to do a rigorous physical pre-drive inspection of your car. You absolutely must have two license plates firmly attached, one on the front, one on the back. Your lights, horn, and wipers have to work flawlessly. Your windshield can't have any cracks right in your primary line of sight. And here's the big one. Your dashboard must be completely dark. If you have an illuminated check engine, airbag, or ABS light, the examiner will fail your car on the spot and send you home before you even start the engine. Ultimately, success on the Texas road test isn't just about how well you can parallel park. It is entirely about mastering the preparation. We have covered a ton of ground today, from avoiding that 90-day ITD trap and using the 7 a.m. booking hack to skipping the line entirely with a third-party test. You've now got the complete blueprint to navigate the Texas DPS system like a pro. Just a quick heads up, state rules and administrative procedures do evolve, so always double-check the official Texas DPS website for the most current guidelines before your test. But with what you've learned in this explainer, you are completely ready to book that appointment, crush the paperwork, and pass with flying colors. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to roll the dice and wait 6 months in the free DPS line? Or are you going to use these hacks and get your license this weekend? Safe driving out there.